Oh man, good morning, good morning, good morning. I wanted to first say to all the guys who rejected me, who took me for granted, this is what you missed. It looks better in person, but you know, we do what we do. It is super hot. I'm gonna put my hair up. Um, Hopefully, it doesn't wreck my hair because I just had a shower, and sometimes the molecular structure of my hair uh, does some weird has some weird chemical reaction to scrunchies. Hold on one sec, guys. Okay, woo, woo, hot, hot. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Um, it has been super hot in LA. We have had heat waves. We have heat waves in the autumn time. I'm not even gonna go outside. I'm gonna stay in front of this fan. And sorry. And you might hear the fan, but we do what we can when we can with what we can, right? So the heat waves are in um, autumn, which is weird, right? It's like a weird seasonal thing. So we have June gloom, and in June, so dead ass middle of the summer, we get really a little too low, a little too low. Um, we get really gloomy weather, right? It's really gray and it can get kind of cold in June. You wouldn't expect it, right? So, in the fall, we get heat waves, and it's September, so we're starting to get the heat waves. Usually, the heat waves are the worst in October, which is my birthday time. So I'm like, if they're hot now, like if they're miserable now, how are they gonna be in October? Are we gonna have like 200 degrees, like bake me? Um, but they're so hot that we had blackouts yesterday. We had fires and we had blackouts. So like in the middle of the night, everything blacked out, and that means no fans. Like I just had to like sit in my sweat. They came back on pretty quickly. Well, not quickly, but maybe an hour after going out. So I wasn't. We weren't without power the whole night, but it was rough, guys. So yeah, it is very hot, and it is a different kind of heat because in Oklahoma it was very humid. So the more east you go, the more humid it is in the U.S. If you're on the East Coast, it's more humid, and if you're on the West Coast, it's more dry, like a desert. So Oklahoma's right in the middle. We had really hot summers that were really humid, and it is a different kind of pain. Like in California, one of the things that's so unbearable is that a lot of us don't have AC, don't have air conditioner because we just don't need it, right? Even in a lot of triple degree heat, a lot of times because we don't have that humidity, we don't need an air conditioner. But in the South, it's like I don't see how you would survive without AC. But I do think it's kind of detrimental to them in some ways. Anyway, let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue. So, cat whiskers. So I don't know if you can see, but I have hair coming out of this mole. Like, can you see it? I don't know. Put a pin in that. That's gonna matter. So, in the fourth grade, I spent every day after school waiting for the bus with Brandon Bond. And I thought we connected. I thought we made a connection. I thought we were, you know, building up this intimacy, right? It was like one-on-one time with me and Brandon Bond. So, one day after school, he asks me, he's like, there's something I want to ask you. And I was like, here it is. And I had never had a boyfriend. A lot of the girls in my grade school, I realize now that they were sort of aggressive with the boys in our school, so they would, make them be their boyfriends. You're my boyfriend now! But I sort of thought, wait for the guy to pursue you, but, what 5th grade boy is going to pursue you? Except, here's what happened. So, Brandon Bond asks, says, I have something to ask you. And I was like, here it is. All this hard work of connecting, all this work of building this relationship, and it's finally going to the next level. We can hold hands at the movie theaters. Oh my God. I was boy crazy too, but I was not as lucky as my friends. So he was like, could you ask Ashley if she could go out with me? Ah! Ashley Coffee was my best friend, I guess. She always called me weird and put me down as a friend, so it's like, were you my best friend or were you just there because we had no one else? So that was a bummer. That sank my heart. Right? It was like, could you ask Ashley out for me? And I was just like, yeah, okay, yeah. And then he puts his hand to my face. Oh, I told that story wrong because I think it was the opposite. He puts his hand to my face. That's when I was like, this is happening. So this happened before. Sorry. I haven't told this story in a long time, so I forgot the details. But it is a true story. But he reached up to my face, and that's when I thought he was going to kiss me. And then he plucks out a long hair that had been growing out of this mole. Right now it's short. I pluck it or shave it off or whatever. But he pulled out a long hair and he was like, cat whisker. And then on top, he made fun of this, not made fun, but it was an embarrassing moment of him plucking out my mole hair and asking if Ashley Coffee would go out with him. It was a really devastating moment in my 4th grade. So I was hanging out with Ashley and I told her about Brandon, and she was like, oh, I wrote a story about him and this is exactly what happened. But she knew I liked him, never heard her say anything about liking him. It was a total shock to me that you had written this story when I had been obsessing about him every day after school because we had built up that bond. I don't know if they had one-on-one time to build up that bond. Brandon Bond. If they had one-on-one time to build up their relationship, it was just sort of that person over there, let's go out with her, instead of the person who's right in front of you. Men. But anyway, Ashley and Brandon Bond went out and it hurt deep inside, and it was one of the things that was oh, I'm the third wheel, you chose my friend over me, cool, okay. Another girl over me, gotcha, after thinking we had a connection, okay. But it is kind of a funny story because of the cat whisker thing. Sorry I told it out of order. Still funny, right? I can laugh about it now. You know what? It hurt me as a kid to experience all of that, but I was so boy crazy. I'm glad for all of those rejections, because if I went out with a boy, I would get pregnant at 14 years old. I would ruin my future, because I was just so sprung on guys, right? So I had to build up a tolerance for not having what I wanted the most, right? So yeah, that's my cat whisker story. I will catch you tomorrow. Hopefully I don't die of the heat, and it's a pleasure as always. Love you guys. Bye.